AI is everywhere, but who actually needs to understand it? Do you train the whole company on AI literacy? Or do you build a team of specialists and let everyone else just use what they create? One spreads the knowledge wide, the other goes deep. Today, train everyone on AI or build specialists. Let's sort this out. Welcome to Binary Business. I'm Will Guidry. Episode 6, still in the ABCD framework, audience, build, convert, deliver. Today's question shapes how AI capability spreads through your organization. Get this wrong and you either waste training budget or create dangerous knowledge gaps. This isn't about smart versus dumb. It's about who needs to know what. So here we go. Train everyone on AI or build specialists. Here's where most companies are right now. AI tools are showing up in every department. Marketing is using ChatGPT, sales is playing with AI assistants, customer support is testing chatbots, and leadership is wondering if anyone actually knows what they're doing. You've got two paths. Binary 1, train everyone. Roll out the company-wide AI literacy program and make sure every employee understands the basics, what the AI can do and what it can't, how to use it responsibly, and then everybody gets a baseline. Binary 0, build specialists. Hire or develop a small team of AI experts. They build the tools, create the workflows, and deploy AI capabilities across the organization. Everyone else just uses what the specialists create. Most companies default to 1 without thinking about which actually fits their situation. If you train everyone, you spread capability but dilute expertise. You've got 1,000 people who kind of understand AI, but nobody who deeply understands it. If you build specialists, you concentrate expertise but create bottlenecks. Every AI initiative flows through a small team that can't scale to meet your demands. The real question isn't whether to train everyone or build specialists. It's who needs to make decisions with AI versus who just needs to consume AI outputs. That distinction will change everything. Let's unpack both sides. Train everyone. Training everyone means building baseline AI literacy across the organization. Every employee understands what AI is, what it can do, what it can't do, and how to use it responsibly. Here's when this works. First, AI is becoming part of everyone's job. If marketing, sales, operations, and finance are all using AI tools, they need to understand it enough to use them well. You can't have 1,000 people using AI without any understanding of its limitations. Second, when you want distributed innovation. When everyone understands AI basics, good ideas can come from anywhere. The person closest to the problem might see an AI application that no one else has considered. Third, when risk management requires awareness. AI creates new risks, hallucinations, bias, data privacy issues. If people don't understand these risks, they can't avoid them. Training everyone creates a defensive layer. But here's the catch. Training everyone is expensive. Time, money, and attention. Most AI training programs are shallow enough to be useless or deep enough to be wasted on people who won't apply it. I worked with the company that rolled out mandatory AI training for all 500 employees. It was a 2-hour course. It was $200 per session for the person and the time and materials. That's $100,000. A few months later, less than 20% of those people actually used AI in their work. The rest forgot everything within a couple of weeks. The training wasn't bad, it just didn't match how people actually work. They learned concepts that they never applied. So training everyone works when people actually use what they learn. It fails when it becomes a checkbox exercise. Binary 0, build specialists. Building specialists means concentrating AI expertise in a dedicated team. They develop deep skills, they build tools and workflows, then they deploy AI capabilities that others consume. Here's when this works. First, when AI implementation is technically complex. Building AI systems, integrating them with existing tools, and then managing the data pipelines is specialist work. You don't want everybody doing this. You want experts who can do it well. Second, when consistency matters. If every team builds their own AI solutions, you get fragmentation. Specialists can create standardized approaches that work across the organization. Third, when you're trying to achieve speed through depth. A small team of experts can move faster than a broad team of generalists. They've seen the problem before, they know the pitfalls, they ship faster. But here's the trap. Specialists become bottlenecks. Every AI request goes through them. Teams then have to wait for weeks for simple things. The specialists burn out trying to serve the whole organization. In another company I worked with, they built a 3-person AI team. Brilliant people. They built incredible tools, but they had 50 teams wanting their help. The average wait time for a new AI project was 4 months. So teams started building their own shadow AI solutions because they couldn't wait. Now you've got specialists that nobody uses and rogue AI projects that nobody controls. Specialists work when their capability matches demand. They fail when they become a choke point that people will work around. So here's the real question. This comes down to a simple distinction. Who needs to make AI decisions, or who needs to make decisions with AI? Train them. Who just needs to use AI outputs? Build tools for them. The product manager deciding which AI features to prioritize, they need deep understanding. Train them like a specialist. The customer service rep using AI suggested responses, they need to know when to trust it and when to override it. That's awareness training, not deep AI literacy. So what about the executive approving AI investments? They need strategic understanding, a totally different curriculum entirely. Most companies treat AI as a one-size-fits-all, but it's not, clearly. So match the training depth to the decision authority. Quick note, if you're finding these breakdowns useful, hit the subscribe button. New episodes drop twice a week. Next up, we're going to talk about empower employees or protect them. We're getting into how trust shapes AI adoption. Now let's run this through the ABCD. A is for audience. Who's affected when you choose broad training versus specialist systems? If you train everyone, employees gain capability, but also responsibility. They're expected to use AI. That's empowering for some, overwhelming for others. I've seen veteran employees resist AI training, 30 years on the job, and suddenly they're told they need to learn a new technology. It feels like a threat, not an opportunity. Meanwhile, newer employees eat it up. They see AI as a career advancement. Same training, completely different reception based on who's receiving it. If you build specialists, most employees are relieved. They don't have to figure it out. Someone else handles it, but they also lose agency. They can't solve their own problems with AI. They have to wait for the specialist. Here's the audience question that matters. Who feels ownership of AI outcomes? If everyone is trained, everyone shares responsibility. Good for distributed accountability, but bad when something goes wrong and nobody owns the fix. If specialists own the AI, they're accountable. Good for clear responsibility, but bad when you can't scale and teams feel unsupported. The other audience consideration is customers. Do your customers interact with AI directly? If so, who understands those interactions well enough to improve them? Broad training creates more people who can spot customer friction, but specialists might miss what they don't see daily. B is for build. What infrastructure supports each approach? If you train everyone, you need a learning system that actually works, not a one-time course, but ongoing education. And this has to be updated as AI evolves, reinforced through practice, not just lectures. Most companies underestimate this. They think that training is an event when it's actually a system. You need content that stays current. AI changes very quickly. Training from 6 months ago will be completely obsolete. You also need practice environments. People learn by doing, not by watching videos. If they can't practice with real tools on real problems, they won't retain anything. You also need measurement. How do you know if your training worked? Usage metrics, outcome metrics, not just completion rates. If you build specialists, you need a different kind of infrastructure. You need a way for specialists to scale their impact. That means building tools and templates others can use without specialist help. It means documentation that actually gets read. It means office hours or support channels so teams can get quick answers without filing formal requests. The best specialist teams I've seen aren't just doers, they're enablers. They build the 80% solution that handles most use cases and then focus their time on the 20% that truly needs expertise. That requires building reusable components, not custom solutions for every request. Either approach fails without the right infrastructure. Training without practice environments is a waste. Specialists without a scalable tool deck, that's a bottleneck. C is for convert. How does this affect revenue? Training everyone is certainly a cost. Big upfront investment, ongoing maintenance. The ROI is indirect at best. Better usage for AI leads to better outcomes, which leads to revenue. The problem, that ROI is hard to measure. You can't easily draw a line from AI training to revenue, which makes it an easy budget target when someone needs to cut costs. Building specialists is also a cost, but it's concentrated. Salaries for your skilled people, tools and platforms. The ROI is more visible because specialists ship specific projects with measurable outcomes. Here's the conversion lens that matters. Speed to value. If you train everyone, value emerges slowly. People learn, they experiment, eventually some of them create real improvements. That might take a year to show up in results. If you build specialists, value can emerge quickly. They ship a project, it works, you see ROI in months, but their capacity limits how many projects you get done. One company trained their entire sales team on AI tools. It took 6 months before they saw meaningful improvement in sales productivity, but once it clicked, their improvement was everywhere. Every rep was better. That's scale. Another client built an AI team that shipped a lead scoring model in 8 weeks. Immediate impact on conversion rates. But when marketing wanted the same thing for their campaigns, they waited 4 months. So that's a bottleneck. Which conversion pattern fits your situation? Slow and broad or fast and narrow? If you're cash constrained and need quick wins, specialists give you faster ROI on specific projects. If you're building for the long term and can absorb upfront costs, training everyone creates distributed capability that will compound. D is for deliver. What happens after training is done or specialists are hired? If you train everyone, delivery is distributed. Every team applies AI to their own work. Marketing uses it for AI content. Sales uses AI for prospecting. Operations might use it for workflows. Delivery happens everywhere at varying levels of quality. The challenge is consistency. Some teams will apply training well, others won't. You'll get pockets of excellence next to pockets of mediocrity. Quality control becomes difficult. If you build specialists, delivery is controlled. Every AI deployment goes through the expert team. Quality is consistent because the same people build everything, but delivery is constrained by their capacity. One company trained everyone, then found that engineering was using AI brilliantly while customer support was barely using it at all. Same training, totally different adoption. The train everyone approach revealed capability gaps that they didn't know existed. Another company built specialists, then found out that their AI team was so swamped that they were only delivering to the departments with the most political power. Sales got everything. HR got nothing. Specialist capacity became a political battleground. Here's the delivery question. Can you live with uneven quality, or do you need controlled consistency? If uneven quality is acceptable because speed and coverage matter more, train everyone and let 1,000 flowers bloom. Some will be weeds, but that's okay. If consistency is critical because AI touches customers or compliance or finance, build specialists who ensure every deployment meets standards. Most organizations will need both. Train everyone on basics, build specialists for high-stakes implementations, then match the approach to the risk level of the delivery. So here's the call. Don't pick one approach. Sequence them. Start with specialists. Hire or develop 2 or 3 people who deeply understand AI. Let them build the first wave of tools and prove value. This gives you quick wins and establishes credibility. Then train selectively. Identify the roles where AI decision-making matters. Product managers, marketing leads, operations heads, give them deeper training. They become your distributed AI capability. Finally, build awareness broadly. Everyone else gets the basics. What AI can do, what it can't do, how to use the tools the specialists build. This is light training. Enough to be competent users, but not experts. So the sequence is specialists first for credibility, selective deep training for leverage, then broad awareness for coverage. Most companies do it backwards. They roll out broad training first, realize nobody's applying it, then scramble to hire specialists who have to undo bad habits. One more thing. Watch out for this training trap. Training feels like progress. You can put an AI training initiative on a slide and executives will nod approvingly, but training without application is just expensive theater. If you train people and they don't use it within 30 days, they will forget it. Training has to connect to real work immediately. Before you train anyone, ask yourself, what will they do differently next week because of this training? If you don't have a clear answer, don't train yet. Specialists ship things. Training builds capability that might get used, knowing which one you actually need right now. Thanks for listening to Binary Business. Trying to figure out whether to train everyone or build specialists? Grab the Binary Decision Scorecard. It'll help you see where your AI capability gaps actually are. There's a link in the description. In the next episode, empower employees or protect them. We're exploring how trust determines whether AI adoption succeeds or fails. Subscribe so that you catch it. YouTube viewers, hit like if this was helpful. This is Binary Business. All signal, no noise.